tours? Are these unique visitors? How many steps are they taking through the tour? Are they using Google Views? You get this information. And so this gives you a much more granular view into visitor behavior, and it can give you a sense of what's the effectiveness of each of the campaigns that you're running and each of the platforms that you're hosting your tours on. And we hope that this allows you to optimize and invest in what has the best traffic and really get the most bang for your buck. The other thing that we've done with the analytics system is we've improved the engagement rate. This was something that a lot of people felt was confusing, not particularly helpful. And so what we did with engagement rate is it's tracked at a per session level. Previously, we took a raw number of views and compared that to a raw number of engagements, and it was an approximation of how often people were engaging. Now that's really at the session level. And so you can understand engagement as per session engagement and understand what the user journey is through a tour session over session. And this gives you a better understanding of what they're doing, what their journey is. And again, it helps you understand what about the tour is interesting. There's also analytic information about where are they looking within each one of the places that they are. You can get basically information about what are they looking at, what's interesting to them, where did they leave the tour, how far did they get, where do they tend to go when they're in the tour. This can help you understand what about these tours is exciting, what about your venue is particularly engaging, and it can help you then plan advertising that emphasizes the areas that seem to be the most interesting to the majority of visitors that are coming and visiting your site. And you may get information that surprises you in a pleasant way, that, oh, we didn't realize that, say, the gym in this hotel is particularly interesting to people. Maybe we should do more to front that within our advertising. Or maybe the pool area in a hotel is interesting, or the restaurants around a convention center are a place people really want to check out. And we need to place more related to that. So this helps you really understand that. To use the new analytics, you have to actually enable it. And so when I'm within the dashboard, in order to start taking advantage of this, there's two things you need to do. The first, I need to come up to my settings and go to my user settings. And I actually have to come down and enable Analytics v3. If you don't do that, you'll still be using the old Analytics v2 system. And so it's very important to do that. You also need to actually embed the new viewer within your web pages. And we'll provide instructions and tutorial and support to make sure that everyone finds that to be pretty easy. It's just simply the same embedding process that you would have done for the viewer anywhere else. It's just once you've enabled Analytics v3, you'll get a new link to the new version of the viewer, that's Viewer v3, and that will need to be embedded. Once you've got that, you're good to go. And you've got the new viewer and you've got the new analytics solution. One caveat people should know is that the old analytics is not compatible with the new analytics. So if you've been using old Analytics v2, that will stop accumulating and you'll only accumulate v3 analytics at that point. If for historical reasons you need to go back and forth and look at the old analytics, they're still there. They're still warehoused in our data lake. Just re-enable, you turn off Analytics v3, and you'll see the v3 analytics. And then you can switch back again to see v3. Let's see, I think I've covered about everything.
Yeah, Jesse, do you mind if I add just a couple things?
Sure thing, go ahead.
One thing that most of you will probably recognize too is you now will see clicks. So that was what we were calling engagements before. So that is, and that's where the engagement rate is coming from. So anytime that a user clicks during a session, that is where we're getting that engagement from. As well as we did get a couple questions, Jesse, if you don't mind, steps, since that is a new terminology we also have in the analytics dashboard.
Yep. So it's basically the number of steps that have been taken in a tour. So every time you move within a tour and you go to another spot within the tour. So as I just moved, I've taken a step. So those are steps within the tour.
And then couple other things I wanted to add as well is we had gotten a lot of requests through the years, especially since I've been here, of, hey, can I see more than just the analytics from the viewer? Can we start running campaigns? And so we're really excited about, with the campaign tags, you will be able to add tags to different pages on your site, or even third-party sites. So if you wanted to see how your tour is performing on a third-party site compared on your site, you'd be able to do that as well, or even blog posts compared to your listing pages. So this is going to add a whole nother level of analytics. One other clarification I wanted to add as well is you obviously do have to move your embeds over to using the V3 codes. Like Jesse said, we'll touch on that a little bit more here at the end. But because we did move the maps over to V3, that will start, any engagement on the maps will be tracked in V3 already. So that if you do go in and you see some analytics, that is coming from the locations within your map. So that is kind of the first feature that we went ahead and moved ourselves, that we're excited to give you guys those analytics too.
So that's it for the live demo. Brody, I'm going to turn it back over to you. And we have some additional information that we want to share.
Yep. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. All right, so there's three main components to what we did in this new release. One being the new features. Two, improving some of our existing features. So we touched on that with shifting the maps over to V3, as well as some other updates in the dashboard. But one of the other main focuses that we really put in this quarter was issue resolution. So I know I've had a lot of customers reach out asking for making some updates or fixes within the dashboard or the maps. And so I just wanted to give a quick updates to some of the major issues that our team was able to resolve this quarter. The first, probably being the biggest, was fixing the location CTA in our custom maps. So for any customers that have been trying to use the call to action within an individual location on a custom map, our team was able to get that fixed by moving it over to the new viewer. So that was one of the major steps and why we did move maps over to V3. Another issue that was resolved was being able to fix for any customers that do have access to the Google branding. When Google updated their API, that caused some issues with the ability to push over the branding into all of your partners' Google listings. So we got that fixed. And if you have any questions, if it's not showing up on your end, please let us know, and we're happy to work with you to make sure that your branding is showing up on your partner's Google listings. That is for our Enterprise Pro and Entry Pro customers. Another element would be for users in the dashboard, updating location information. So in the location details page and in the edit section, I know some customers were having issues editing that information or deleting a location or updating categories. All of that has been fixed, and it can be updated by users going forward. And then a couple other things. One, there were some issues with custom share pages affecting the default links as well as the embeds. That is completely fixed with going forward, as well as we did have some customers reach out that their previews in the dashboard for the tours weren't loading. It wasn't affecting anything externally, but we did get that resolved as well. So again, really excited about what we were able to resolve this quarter and kind of what we'll be able to do going forward. So as you guys ever need us to make some updates in the dashboard, we have that ability to do it pretty much as quick as possible. And then, so the last element would be the